Welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel. Well, I know I've done 3 Jericho Cruise previews, but I couldn't do it without these two guys. Awesome story with these guys, just like the other guys. Two of my really good friends out there, and obviously Jericho Cruisers. And what's different with these guys is they have not been on everyone, so you get to hear their story from a different perspective than you've heard from everybody else. So we got Chris and Jake, and I'm in a group text with these guys, and they're like, "How can you have other jabronis on and not us?" And I'm like, "You're absolutely right." So I'm just gonna tell a story real quick of how I met you two, and then you're just gonna tell everybody
For shoots, yeah.
what the Jericho Cruise means to you now, and some of your memories and everything. So, Chris, long story short, I met on the cruise we've talked about in other episodes a lot, the COVID cruise. We call it the COVID cruise. It was the first cruise post COVID. That was Chris's first cruise with his friends and family, and we happened to be in the line together, literally right next to each other, in the 2-something hour, almost 3 hour wait.
It was a long time,
and we were lucky.
Yeah,
we were lucky to get COVID tested to get onto the ship after we've already been tested twice before. But anyway, so we're in the line, and Chris is like asking me, he's like, "Well, have you been on it before?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been on every one." So I said, he goes, "Well, tell me about it." I'm like, "I'm happy to, but I don't want to ruin anything for you. I don't want to play spoiler." And he goes, "Please tell me all you can. I want to know. I want to soak this up." And we don't have anywhere to go for the next however many hours. So I'm like, "All right." So I'm like, "Ask me anything you want. I'll just tell you, but I don't want to ruin anything." Chris could not have been cooler. So I gave him the lowdown on the cruise as best I could. He was like, "Dude, you're helping me so much, man. Thank you so much." I ended up meeting his wife and his brother-in-law, and it all ties together, man. So we all cheer. We got through the COVID test. We're on the ship, and Chris like, "Did you come with anybody?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I arrived here solo, but I know a few people on the ship." And Chris is like, "Yeah, sure." First night he sees me at the bar. He's like, "Man, I take back what I thought. You know everybody here." I'm like, "I don't see it that way, but cool." So I made him and his family do a fireball shot because I said it's Jericho Cruise rule, and he said, "Well, I don't want to break rules." So Chris and I became good friends after that. Hung out on that cruise. Hung out on the fourth cruise. We've kept in touch. Jake here just experienced his first Jericho Cruise last year because Chris couldn't go last year, and his brother-in-law, who's close friends with Jake, said, "You got to come on the cruise."
His brother-in-law is like the wizard of all defense attorneys. Like,
Yes.
man, you guys got more cool stories than you can
say. He could not be on tonight because he was out prosecuting. So there should have been 4 people here, but we understood. So I met Jake on the last cruise, became good friends with him as well, and we've all been in a group text, the 4 of us, just at least 3 times a week. At least. When we're not talking wrestling or other stuff, it's
right.
It's cruise talk. And all of a sudden, it was like a week or 2 ago where we said, "Holy shit." Pause. The cruise is 2 weeks away or something like that, where we said, "Wow." So now we're days away.
Dude, and Six Man Betty's been doing a great job of like keeping that. I'm sure you guys are both on the Facebook page, but like just keeping things feeling like exciting, where they're like doing countdowns with we're announcing different talent on these days.
This was their best one of any cruise since the first one.
I'm shocked at how much talent is on the boat this year.
Right.
It's real deep. It's exciting. A lot of people I haven't seen. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Dude, I had to take my Big Papa Pump action figure off the wall so I could hopefully get an autograph from it.
You'll get it.
I'm bummed Jerry's not going to be on the cruise because I got a Lawler one too. But
no. So Chris, we'll start with you.
Sure.
You've been on 2 of the cruises now, 3 and 4. You took a year off. You got ridden off for a year. But you're back in the booking this year. Yep. What was the cruise like for you? What does it mean to you now? Did anything I say before the 3rd one help at all?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that time in that line, it was hot. We all had masks on. We were kind of unsure, right? It was unsettling. And I don't want to talk about that the whole time, but it was cool. It was cool just because, we're all like-minded. We're all dealing with the same thing. So to meet someone like yourself who is easygoing, been on one before and was just happy to chat. You know, I probably talked your ear off for 2.5 hours or whatever it is, but
You went both ways, man.
the conversation flows, and
Yeah.
it was just fun. It was a lot of, you know, cool information you gave me about, you know, how to act talent wise, whatever. Like when you see somebody, I was a little nervous because, you know, I get starstruck with certain stuff. But you know, it was a big help. You've all, you know, you've introduced me to people, stars. So thank you. But yeah, that was probably one of the cooler parts of that particular cruise, especially after COVID. And we didn't even board the ship yet, and I was already, you know, making friends and you know, that kind of thing. But you know, as far as what it means to me, I think, you know, not only do you get like an up close and personal, you know, kind of view of the wrestlers, but also I think just the overall camaraderie of fans that don't know each other, and they all get on that boat and everyone is respectful. They're all there for the same reason. It's not like you're with like a rival team, you know, with other sports, you know, everybody has their favorite, but we're all there for the same reason. So for me, that's like the coolest thing. It's like everyone fits in. Doesn't matter where you're from, what color you are. It doesn't matter. We're all there to have a great time, celebrate one of the things that we love the most, which is wrestling. You know, I love other sports as well, but this is just something that I don't think I've ever experienced as many people, you know, that are on TV or that I've, you know, watched or know from afar, as accessible as they are. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, the other thing too is, you know, Matt, who didn't show up, we don't get to see him very often. So it's pretty cool that this is like kind of one of the things that we do together. You know, there's no parents. His dad, or Allie's dad, my wife, did come on the last one. He had a blast, but ultimately, you know, it's just us and we just have a good time, you know, for 4 days. And he loves wrestling and so do we. And yeah.
To lend credence to that, like, oh, sorry to interrupt,
No,
but like,
I mean, that's
like you said, the camaraderie, like there's something different, I think, about wrestling fans than when it comes to any other sport. Like you've got NFL fans and it's like, oh, your team, you know, oh, it's bullshit. But like, there's something different when it comes to wrestling, I think. You know, it crosses a lot of different worlds right there.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember Chris in the line kept saying to me, am I really going to get to meet the wrestlers unless I stand in these long, ridiculous lines? Like, I had to keep assuring him, like, I'm telling you, they're going to be passing by you. He's like, no, I need a meet and greet, or when they wrestle that night. I'm like, I'm telling you, like, they're going to pass by. You're going to see them. Finally, about day 2, he's like, okay, you were right. And then actually while we were in line, and like, Jake, if we explain this scenario to you, picture being in like a warehouse, and we were lucky to be in that part.
Yeah.
On a hot day.
Oh yeah.
We were in like special lines. Talon had a different line, but Talon had a crossover us, and we were there before it got really bad. Like there were people there 7-8 hours in line.
Yeah, no. Matt kind of
by the time we finished BSing, it was our turn.
Yeah, Matt kind of told me
anywhere else to go. Let's make the best of it. Like, and we did. Like we did. I think we really became good friends. Like in that line alone.
Right.
Chris found me that night at the bar, and I was already, man, I guess I'll say I was hammered.
I think I'm still hungover, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, that cruise, that first night, man,
that was wild.
And it's funny, don't feel like bad, like when you said, oh, I don't want to relitigate it that much. Trust me, every live stream I've done, people who've been on every cruise, everyone has mentioned that cruise at least once.
Really?
Yeah, just about what it was like, what it meant. NCL's first cruise post-COVID.
It was a completely unprecedented, you know, experience across the entire world. And what they were doing was completely, I mean, trying to make sure people can still have a good time while still staying safe. Like,
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I had to get tested that Sunday. And then we got to get tested at the port.
Yeah.
And nobody tested negative except for like 2 people. And then they retested like 30 minutes later and we're fine.
And you think about how long a line, like delays when you're normally going on vacations, airport security and stuff, and then that extra layer, like it's a miracle that they were even able to pull it off, you know, altogether.
Before it got like horrendous. Like, thank God we all were there early that day.
Yeah,
there were people that didn't get on the ship till 6-7 o'clock that night. They had a delay. It all worked out in the end. Anyway,
I'll tell you what, it was cool when we pulled away while Fozzy was playing and it was dark out and you saw
that's the only time that's
everyone
happened.
was going crazy.
Yeah.
What's that?
That was the only time that's happened. on the cruise.
Yeah, really. Yeah, because it usually leaves at like
Second
4,
one,
right?
like it was a little dusk because it was like, but it wasn't dark like that.
No, that was cool.
And to their credit, they delayed everything so
Which
those
is
people could see it.
I mean, I think Jericho number one is somebody who gets it when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah,
he just understands how to, I think how to treat people, especially when they're paying their hard-earned money to go do something, for him, I guess you could say.
and he
for
stuck
the
his neck out to have the cruise during that time.
Absolutely. It was,
He met with the head of NCL, the head of Six Man. Was like, you need to do something for these people.
Yeah.
Well, he's done the grind.
The letter ain't gonna get it done.
He's done the grind, and
they gave. I don't know if you noticed, Jake. They gave everybody on the cruise $100.
Yeah.
Oh, for the 3 year.
No. During the trip, like we got a letter saying we're sorry about the inconvenience of the boarding that day, even though Chris and I really had it pretty easy. We had it easy, but it was really for the people who went through hell to get on the ship.
Nice, that's awesome.
They gave everybody $100. You spend it on the ship; it's cruise credit.
Right.
And in the gift shop, you can spend it at a massage or whatever. It wasn't like
you think about
on your account. They added $100 to spend any way you want.
Right, the good stewardship that builds inside the person. They're going to be like,
man, they are just first class. Like I remember on that cruise, we were supposed to have a sail away for the 3-timers. And it was like a special like thing with Chris Jericho, like saying goodbye or something like that, or a picture.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I go up there for the picture. I don't see anybody there. I'm like, what the? And I finally see somebody come by. They're like, yeah, it's canceled right now. Like, nobody's on the boat. And I was like, that's no excuse. Yeah, it is. But we had the whole shit to ourselves that day until about 6 o'clock. But anyway, then I still remember that one like it was yesterday. That was a fun cruise. But Jake, you made your cruise debut last year.
Oh yeah,
you did it in very impressive fashion. I'm gonna build you up here because Jake's very shy, and in case you haven't noticed already, and very quiet. Doesn't have? I'm just kidding. No, Jake. My friend Matt, Chris's brother-in-law, texted me right before the cruise and said, "My buddy Jake is coming. Trust me, you'll like him." So I said, "Okay, I like me, Matt. I'll meet the guy, whatever." First day, met Jake. I'm like, all right, this dude's a character. Jake became famous on the cruise because of his LA night impression that he would do anywhere and everywhere. I mean, one day he walked. Chris, you remember the steps by the jacuzzi?
Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Where we had many famous quotes come out of.
Yeah.
On the cruise before, with me, Chris, Jake, Allie, and not Jake, sorry, and Matt in the rain, but it was like not bad. The whole did everything to ourselves. But anyway, Jake came down doing his LA night, became famous. And so Jake, last year was your first cruise. So obviously your memories are based on one cruise, but tell me about your first experience on it last year, what you're looking forward to this year.
Well, so my first experience, like I was a person that we used to poo-poo cruises before that and be like, who spends all this money to sit in one location and, maybe enjoy like 150 square feet of room and then maybe a couple of attractions on the ship. But it's different when you're literally immersed in bumping into wrestlers where like, the first day on there, first full day on there, we're up on the deck and I look over and I'm like, dude, I think I'm like 2 arms lengths away from Bubba Ray Dudley right here. And like, I can't remember if it was you or Mirabella. I was like, go say hi. And I just like,
hey there, man. Like him, where he doesn't want to bother the person.
Right. I'm like a big fan. I think you guys are the best.
For the whole cruise. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, you're good.
For the whole cruise. He said, I'm going to dress up like him. I got to meet him. And
yeah.
Complete. First day, we're at the concert. Bubba is right by us. Because Chris, this year we got to get you down closer. You don't have to be top deck observation. Like, come closer. I made Jake come there. I made Matt, and they were like, "Now we see what you're talking about." Anyway, Bubba was near us.
Matt's dressed just like Bubba Ray, and he's got the glasses. And Bubba grabs the glasses. He's like,
everything.
He's like, "Let me see those glasses." Takes them. He like pokes the lenses out of them, gives them back to him. He's like, "There you go." Now the costume's
Bubba to wear the glasses in the picture. But I pushed him because I pointed at Bubba, and Bubba goes, "Come over here." And cool. Matt still didn't want to bother him. And we finally pushed him. And like he got the picture like first. We had just left.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm sorry, Jake. So
it's just surreal experience because you're literally you're looking bringing your own wrestling t-shirts, and you're seeing other people with wrestling t-shirts, and some of them, like there's this dude I met, Danny, that's got these Golden Girl variations of t-shirts, and some of them are wrestling and some of them are Ninja Turtles and everything very Golden Girls related. And just meeting these types of personalities,
And he's a great dude.
yeah, awesome. And I think a lot of us, it harkens us back to when we were kids and seeing these guys larger than life on TV, laying the smackdown on each other. And now you're literally, I can shake your hand and take a picture with you. Then that's cool to take a picture with you. And I mean, I hands down, like 180 reversed my decision on cruise, because I'm afraid of the open ocean, and what could happen on whatever that Carnival line where the electricity went out and they were like crapping off the side of the deck, right? Some stuff like that can happen.
I would immediately.
Right. But when you're like literally immersed in stuff that you are a fan of, like rock shows, stand-up comedy. I mean, Brad Williams, fantastic comedian, and other fantastic comedians on there. And
you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and you're literally bumping into wrestlers from all generations. I got a picture with Jerry Lynn. Got to listen to a wrestler my mom watched when Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and literally got to take a bro picture with the Outrunners that are on AEW right now.
How much they've grown?
Say again.
How much they've grown? Can you hear me?
That last part was a little muddled.
Okay, no, I was saying the Outrunners. Like, people didn't really know who they were on the last cruise,
dude, and they were just
huge.
They were. I mean, you could tell they love their gimmick, and they're just having a good time out there. Wow. And that's
they're back.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I think they're endearing to fans there.
Yeah,
I will say that part is awesome as well. Like, if you don't know the talent because you don't follow Indie or TNA or whoever they may invite, that to me is awesome. You get to see guys, you know, and girls that you don't see actually perform right in front of you. And I think the other part of this, the lore too, is like when you're watching the actual event, the wrestling on the ship, those seats you would pay so much money for in an arena.
Right.
I feel like, they practically sweat on you. Like, it's crazy. So to me, that there's nothing like it as a wrestling fan unless you're at an indie show maybe and you're right up close. But these are pros, Jericho, people we've seen for years, world champions 3 times over. They're literally right in front of you. Dude, it's such a cool experience.
John Morrison, Johnny TV, his I think his room was like 2 doors down from where Mirabella and I were at last year on the ship, and like there were several times. Hey,
so when you say that, my room was right next to his.
Hell yeah.
I don't usually, I don't know.
Chris, I'm sorry, Chris. I have to say this. Chris does not like bothering anyone.
No,
right.
Approaching or anything. First cruise, I'm going to tell a story. The whole cruise, I kept saying to Chris, "Have you met anybody yet?" Well, not really. I've seen a few, but I didn't want to stand that long in the meet and greet line, and I don't like to bother them. I kept saying, "Dude, you're not bothering them." So finally, the last night, I'd had a few. I go, "That's it. You're not leaving this cruise without meeting somebody.
Get over here.
You're meeting somebody. Come here with me. I'm going to do it." And Chris is like, "I don't know." And then his wife's like, just go with him, please. Make him go. We went around the whole by where the Guardians were on the last cruise, Jake. Chris met the last 6 wrestlers. He's like, "All right, my cruise is complete."
It was so cool. I had selfies with all of them.
Nice.
And actually, what that helped me with too was on the second one, I was even doing it on my own. I didn't, really worry about it. I was comfortable. And you start to realize too that they're just regular people. They're just like us. I mean, they're on TV and stuff, and they have these personalities that are turned up to 10, but ultimately they're just, like we are. And I actually think they're some of the coolest professionals ever. And they're just so easy going. Most of them.
They're like we are.
You can read that real quick.
They're like we are, except they're doing what they love, living their best life right now.
If they're hanging out by a stage for a long time by us, that means they really don't care if you go up. Unless you really annoy them.
I talked to Ryan Nemeth in the casino for like an hour. He was just hanging out. It was cool. Yeah.
When I was explaining this to Chris when we were boarding the ship back on that 3rd cruise, Billy Gunn and his kids walked right in front of us.
Nice.
And he was to the side, and I go, oh, there's Billy Gunn. And Chris goes, what?
Well,
What?
I was like, Billy Gunn was.
I was like, welcome to the Jericho Cruise.
Dude, watching him growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing that, I was like, whoa.
That was awesome.
My eyes popped up. Yeah.
Dude, and like when we were
so like calm about it, I'm like, because you're gonna see a lot of that the next 4 days.
Yeah. When we were doing backyard wrestling as kids, actually down in the basement in our bedrooms, breaking box springs and jumping on our beds when we weren't supposed to be, dude. The Buff Blockbuster, you like pull a couple drawers out from the dresser and do your own Blockbuster there. I got to meet Buff Bagwell last cruise and take a picture with him. And like, it's such a surreal experience, man.
The legends tend to also like, unless they're antisocial, they tend to really hang out because they're not wrestling.
Yeah, they were cool.
They're just doing some podcasts or Hassan did his comedy show, which was not that funny, but he tried.
Back to that.
He tried. Like I remember we're about to leave last year, and Matt Cardona walks right in front of me, Matt, and Jake.
Nice.
Jake screams at him, "That's Zack Ryder!" And I'm like, "Oh God!"
Oops.
and he's like, "Zack Ryder's done." And I got mad. Is he gonna be
what
like,
I actually what I said was, oh damn! I was like, woo woo, bro. He's like, that's dead. That's dead. I was like,
no.
Oh, Long Island Iced Tea is never dead to me. Like, oh.
But so we talked about your cruise experiences so far, and I'm sure we can go back. I don't care. What on this cruise are you really looking forward to? Chris, you want to start?
Sure. Last year I had FOMO for sure, but I think
he didn't help either in the group text. Best cruise ever, man. Yeah, best cruise ever. I'm like, keep texting. I'm gonna tell you. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I kind of for me, I'm old school. I like to be surprised. So I am looking forward to anything that I didn't know before I got on that may be happening, might happen, spur of the moment. Sometimes you get caught on, on an area that something's going on, and the spontaneous of it is exciting for me. So I'm hoping there's more variation than a couple of the last ones, just with different activities and stuff like that pop up. But other than that, I just hanging out with you guys and the wife and having a blast. I've been working like crazy, so I think just being able to relax, kind of fly by the seat of my pants, walk around, see what I want to do, whatever, just chill and not have to worry about too much other than where I got to be if I want to be somewhere. But
let me cruise with you.
That's it.
Jake, what are you looking forward to besides
oh shit, dude.
On the boat?
Not making the same mistakes I made on my rookie voyage.
You didn't make any mistakes.
And that is to not. Don't think that I'm above taking Dramamine, and I'm going to be a pussy, and I'm going to take as much Dramamine as I possibly can because I want to be able.
4 days now.
I want to be able to enjoy the food that's on there because, you think your body's, the waves aren't getting to me, but like subtly they are. But like, no, I'm more excited to now that I kind of know the vibe, and I don't necessarily have too much of an issue walking up and being like, "Hi, I love you. I think you're I grew up watching you and you're fucking awesome. Do you mind if I, but I'm, Big Papa Pump. I'm
careful with him.
I'm so grateful that he put Booker T over on the last WCW Nitro, even when he had, I'm sure you guys know, he had a dead foot during that entire match and for a few months leading up to that. So the fact that he went out there and put in the work, and then I love Booker as well, and so putting the Bookman over, just want to give him a dap for that, and also just
Booker T.
Yeah, and he was
on the second cruise, yeah.
Damn, and Angle, I missed Angle as well. Like I love Angle.
Great, yeah.
But like Big Papa Pump, like when him and Buff Bagwell were doing their arm, trying to.
He actually socializes with.
Yeah, is he? I mean,
he's a wild card. He's
that's what it seems like. Yeah,
he might come across like a jerk. I don't think he's trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just his person.
I think he's just a real motherfucker. Like, I'm sorry.
If you bother him, he's gonna be like, "Yo," he has a way of answering you to be like,
right,
polite, but like get the F away.
Well, like you've heard the stories of how he would he had a dog that he would like train to like go and like maul at people's feet and
That sounds
like
like
pretend that he was having the
his
dog sick
brother
him
is
or
so
something.
different from him. His brother will talk as long as you want with him.
Yeah.
Scotty's different. Like I remember he worked an indie show here, and I'm walking into the building. He parked his car right next to mine.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say anything to him, and he's like, "You know which way I gotta go to the show," and I'm like, "That was But I'm looking forward to his Talk is Jericho episode.
Nice.
Because I don't
Yeah.
think I've done one before, and you give that guy a microphone, anything.
Steiner math, baby.
Where he's a little more at ease, probably.
That was the best. Whenever Scotty had a hot mic and he's calling somebody a son of a bitch or a fat.
Yeah. Jericho's not going to
Just-
pressure him and hold him back.
Yeah.
So I think in what worst case scenario they edit it, but we get to hear the original.
Right. Right.
That's something I think you guys need to get to.
Right. Yeah, it's a surreal experience. I mean, we sat in a hot tub with Missy Hyatt for what, like a couple hours on the last cruise, and I mean, she regaled us with a ton of stories that, I mean,
But
that's what I love.
In Israel, remember?
What's that?
Their Israel tour they did.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I love about
they got to go on a boat, and the military was near them.
Yeah,
to protect them. Like, she told the whole story.
Just the stories that you get that you wouldn't normally hear from these wrestling podcasts, right. It gives you a lot more appreciation for some of these guys and the craft.
And Jericho doesn't do live podcasts.
Who?
Jericho does not do live podcasts.
Why not?
Well, he's a little busy with his wrestling schedule and his Fozzy and record. He doesn't have time to do. He doesn't do like live from the Tampa Improv. It's Chris Jericho, Talk is Jericho.
He's a charismatic motherfucker. I mean, I don't.
No, I understand, and maybe when he retires from wrestling, he'll do more.
Yeah.
Those. He doesn't have time, but
it's like those inside the ropes. Whenever
the time you can see a live Talk is Jericho.
Yeah. Whenever they have him in front of a live audience and those inside the ropes, and he'll tell a story or something. It's always wildly entertaining.
Yeah, he'll do that stuff because he loves a good Q&A now.
Yeah.
But the Talk is Jericho stuff that's the only time you can see it live is on his cruise.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And so we got through that. We got through what are you looking forward to this time? You didn't really answer. You talked about the last cruise.
Food mostly, the wrestling shows, and this broing down with you motherfuckers, man. Having a good time. I actually got a little bit more LA Knight stuff to wear. So.
Good. You cannot get away from that. This cruise, what are you looking forward to? Some more?
Seeing that for sure.
Yeah, you haven't seen him since the last cruise?
What's that?
Have you seen him since the last cruise you were on?
Who?
Oh,
Matt.
Seen that.
Matt? Once, maybe.
Wow.
Twice.
Dude, he's lost a lot of weight, man. He's got into shape.
It's so good to hear. Good for him. I'm pumped to see him. We haven't, we talk a little bit here and there. It's, I know he's busy.
He stopped eating like 2 full pizzas right before he went to bed, and I think that was a big part of it. Was just like he'd always say it too, like
some videos. Like we hung out the last night of the cruise, we said goodbye, and these guys like I'm lucky, and after the cruise, I get to take an Uber ride home, and I'm home.
Yeah,
he had like a 6-hour wait at the Miami airport, which we're going to talk about your travel schedule and.
I had to go through Wyoming.
Yeah,
fuck Wyoming.
They're sending me all these videos in the airport. And they're sending me, they're like, look at us last night here. It was like some of the funniest stuff, but that's like Jericho Cruise for you.
Yeah.
Like in a nutshell. Like, wait till you see these two together, Chris. It's going to, like, you think you understand Matt and you know him. Wait till you see him with Jake.
I got the feeling. I got a feeling through the group chat there was going to be a little different dynamic with Jake here this year. Yeah. So that is definitely something I've been looking forward to, just through text. Like it's, you put a couple of promos on our group chat there. That was pretty awesome. So I was like, oh boy, we're in for it.
I could be Matt's hype man.
Text name is Cruz is Jericho. I mean, like, where's that? Like, but no, dude, you explained to us your travel situation coming.
Oh, mine?
Yeah. I mean, I guess people, like, you forgot that there's
so I decided I wasn't going to go through
Lauderdale.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go through Wyoming this time. So I'm taking Allegiant to Orlando, and then Orlando to I'm taking a bus to Miami.
Yeah. I should
And
have
then
up to the Bright Line.
what's that?
The Bright Line is the train system.
Right.
Right to downtown Miami.
The bus ticket was cheaper, and
Oh, you priced it at least?
yeah.
Okay,
I looked at the Bright Line,
okay,
but
good.
if I go on the bus, I get like a free edition of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles just because I'm going along this ridiculous
You'll
route.
have a great story out of it. Who are we kidding?
Exactly.
But and a lot of people do that because a lot of people go to Disney World before the cruise.
Well, these Allegiant flights are super cheap, and like a Rapid
from Rapid City to Orlando.
Yeah, Rapid to Orlando is only like $120. Yeah. But like Rapid to Miami is like 500. So I was like, nah.
Yeah.
And I'd have to leave at like 5 a.m. and I get there at 10 p.m. So
you guys must be really looking forward to the weather here.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know how I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get the fuck out of Connecticut. Let me tell you, it has been so cold and miserable, and there's like salt everywhere because we got like 2 inches of snow, and it's all over the place. I'm out on the road all day long for my job, and it sucks right now. Like I cannot wait to see the sun.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Unfortunately,
but this cruise, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'll have you know, it was 58 at one time last week here.
Oh, that's chill.
Oh yeah, you guys had some. Did you have some like some snow on the beaches or something like that, or where was that?
Florida.
North, right?
Yeah,
North Florida got snow. Not us, obviously.
Hell is freezing over down in Florida.
Right.
I'm about 40 minutes away. It's 65 at the moment. I'll give you a forecast for Friday because that's just the kind of friend I am. Not that you can't look on your phones and see it. High of 78, low of 69, sunny and cloudy. You'd be good to go for the sail away.
I'm bringing a poncho just in case, you know.
But January cruising is always a little rougher.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
experienced. And you know what I say? Enjoy this one because the next one's not until October 26th.
Oh, it's in October?
October 26th.
My birthday is in October. We'll see.
Yeah, because the cruise you went on, the third one was around your birthday.
Third one was the last day of the cruise was my birthday. Yeah.
And he wouldn't tell anybody. He didn't tell anybody until that night, the last night. That's the type of like baby face he is. He's like, and I think it was your wife. I said, what? You're meeting so many wrestlers. It's your birthday. You're getting pictures.
He just didn't want them to give him the obligatory birthday spanking because coming from a wrestler, that could probably hurt.
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of shots, like nonstop. For my, I'm already on a boat. First night was already rough.
You were giving me stuff last night. Remember the tequila shots? That cruise? They were like in a real giving mood, and they pretty much gave everybody the drink packet.
Danhausen, tequila, right? That was, they gave some stuff away. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was, but
nice.
Everybody had the drink packets because it was a thank you for booking during COVID. So they gave everybody the drink package. You just had to pay the gratuity. So it's 20 a day. We got our drinks worth.
Oh,
on that note,
yes, please.
Thank you, Six Man Betty, for the very reasonably priced drink packages this year because.
And you know what? True story, and I'm sure you saw this in the Facebook group. Is
cheers to that.
Yeah, last year felt like a chore, but
half off. If you didn't pounce on it early, this past Friday was the cutoff point.
Oh, was it?
And it didn't say that. Like we didn't know. I mean, if you had to really read the fine print, it was there, but you had to really read it, and it said this past Friday. I guess it was 21st. I think. That was the cutoff.
Damn.
Their NCL rate of double the price.
Damn.
So, thank God. Like, and that was other than the third one where they gave it away. That is by far the cheapest they've done.
Yeah, last year it felt like
it was 80 something a day in the past.
Yeah, you had to like average like 7 to 8 drinks a day to make it worth it. It's like, okay, I'm so hungover and seasick.
I saw the price of this one. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's cheap, but half the price is half the price.
Well, it's like a drink per meal. If you have a drink with your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I mean, you pay for it right there.
I mean, alcohol prices are crazy.
That's why I texted you guys and I said, get on the package now.
Yes.
That was the package you were talking about?
Last or not, and then you said we already booked it. We already got it.
I thought you were telling us to get on a different package.
It's your LA night costume. True. So we yeah, this is what you're in store for 4 days with Jake.
Looking forward to it.
I promise I won't make a move. It's all talk. It's all talk.
All talk. Oh, yeah,
good.
You don't have to.
Whatever.
So,
what happens on the Jericho cruise stays on the Jericho cruise, you know?
Yeah.
Promise. Well, in that case, it's not worth it.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I always love that sail away concert. Like I said, that's when you know the cruise is real.
That's awesome. It is. It's perfectly timed every time too. It's awesome.
You learn from Kiss.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, this cruise is spun off the Kiss cruise.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Didn't he go on that?
Fozzy did the Kiss cruise in 2015, and that was the cruise. They had the best time. And he said, "What if I did a wrestling cruise?" And he said, when they docked in Miami, called his manager and said, "Let's find a way to make this happen."
Yeah.
And 3 years later,
nice.
Happened. And I mean, it was supposed to be sooner, but I don't know if you ever heard the story. They lost their ship going into the first one.
That I didn't hear.
Not like at sea, but like they had it booked. The original cruise was supposed to be around WrestleMania.
Huh.
One in New Orleans. And the original cruise was supposed to leave out of New Orleans. Not Miami. And then I guess 6-Man called him and said, "We lost your ship. We can get you a smaller boat and still leave at the same time. Or we can delay it to the fall of 2018. 7-8 months or whatever. Maybe a year. I think it was a year. No, I'm sorry. It was 7-8 months. And you can leave out of Miami." And Jericho's like, "I don't want to delay it, but I get to leave out of the biggest port in the world. I'm not settling for a smaller ship." Kiss would never settle for anything. I'm not settling.
Kiss would never settle for this. Damn it! It's not. I'm not going to settle for it either.
No, because Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons are like really like. Not, I don't say
dude.
Jericho, but
Gene Simmons is like marketing genius when it came to that. Like he's just profiting.
And Paul's a genius too. Like it was them that told him. I don't know if you heard the story. We lost Chris, but
who was Chris?
We lost him.
He's like, I cannot stand any more talk about Gene Simmons. Like,
he hates Chris. He hates Kiss. Let me get him back in. No, I was saying on the first cruise, Jericho's told the story 1,000 times. If you heard me say this on another live stream, too bad. No, just kidding. But basically, on the first cruise, he was pricing bands. Remember, he's responsible for paying for the talent.
Yeah.
6-Man's in charge of the boat and those fees. And the original plan was he wasn't going to have Fozzy headline. He looked at prices for Alter Bridge and Papa Roach and all these bands, and they were like triple his budget.
Oof.
And that's when he was talking to Paul and Gene, and they were like, "You got to see your band. Your band needs to headline. If it works, then you know you got it.
Right.
If it doesn't, then you'll figure it out. But how do you have your own cruise and not have your own band headline?"
I mean, if you had like a huge name like Kiss or something like that, it's almost. I mean, I'm there to see, honestly, the show on the top deck every night, see those performers perform, and the rock bands. That's icing on the cake right there.
Gift for booking the right bands. I mean, I'm excited. No one's talked about it. None in the Facebook group. None in any live streams. Freaking Downstate's going to be on the cruise,
dude. And the Great White,
like 1,000 drunk wrestling fans or however many. If he does the Cody Rhodes song,
oh, he's going to do it.
Why not? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got Nick Nemeth on the boat. He did Dolph Ziggler's theme.
I'm very excited.
He's done Miz's. I mean, he just has Frank the Clown now. So they are wrestling. I mean, they're a great band in their own right, but we've never had a wrestling band on the cruise like this.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
cool. Yeah. So, and then Great White's been, playing since the fucking 80s, right? Like Once Bitten, Twice Shy is a classic right there.
Oh yeah. He knows how to land some of those.
Yeah.
But that Downstate, I think they're doing the main stage. I don't know. I haven't really read the schedule, I'll be honest. I like before the first cruise, man, I went through the schedule and I wrote down everything I wanted to do and when, and I finally by the second cruise, I was like, you're never gonna do everything you want.
Right.
It's just too much.
Just keep the schedule near you, see what's going on when, and just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
It's too stressful to do it. And Chris basically has said that.
Yeah.
You're not doing everything you want, and it's designed that way.
Yeah,
right.
You want to keep coming back.
Bring you on back. That's right.
Yeah, you want to keep coming back.
Exactly.
You told me before the first cruise, you got the schedule, no shit for you to do. I'm like, my God.
Yeah. It's definitely my kind of thing though. I'm an active person, so like I can only sit on like a beach for so long. So
Same
this
here.
is like kind of my relaxation, if that makes any sense at all, because I get to move around and see different things. And it's like 1 hour you're here, the next hour you're doing comedy, then you're watching wrestling, then you're back to music.
Then
And
back
it's
to your
almost like
bathroom.
flows perfectly for me the way that I am. It's like amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you
feel
look
like
at
it drives my wife insane because she's totally different. But I think I'm like, oh, it's like ADHD heaven. Like you can just
oh,
yeah.
go, and it's just awesome. That's
and
like
you know what? If you need a break from all that stuff,
you can do
always
that too.
You always have something to escape it.
One thing I will say, we went to bed. We didn't stay up late enough the first night we went to, or whatever. We slept in. It screwed our sleep schedule up. We're staying up late this time because nothing happens in the morning really.
Right.
Yeah,
So
nothing
like,
starts till 10 or 11.
Yeah.
so why not wake up then? The whole
Yeah.
breakfast rush will
And
be
he's
out of there.
designed it like that.
Yeah, so we were definitely doing it wrong. We were gonna try and pull an all nighter on the first one and stay up as long as we can.
I
But
mean, this one they're doing like 1, 2 a.m. shows.
I thought I saw that.
That's
Yeah, I
the
didn't
latest
remember that
I've ever
last year.
seen. The latest I've seen usually is 11:30, finishes
Mhm.
around 12 or 1.
Okay.
And then people are hanging out there for a while.
Yeah.
But the bands have taken on their own life on the cruise, which I
Right.
love.
Like the Guardians of the Jukebox got
Guardians
quite
of
a
the
big following.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah.
So good. And
They're
people
awesome.
never get tired of those cover songs.
Right.
I do hope they have some new ones in the rotation at this point. But if they don't, it's still a great show.
Yeah.
I hope they have.
Rich is also swamped with Fozzy stuff too.
Right. Yeah, who knows? But
Yeah.
either way, I mean, I've seen I follow him actually. Rich is one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Caught him in a hallway. Yeah, I caught him in the hallway and I was like, Rich, and he's like, hey, and I told him the story actually about DDP and myself. By the time
Go
we got to
on.
the top of the stairs, he was asking me some stuff. What's that?
Go on, DDP.
Oh, yeah. So
Jake, you don't
long
have to
story
put your
short-
face on the screen. We can see you. Jake, you don't have to.
Sorry, I
You're
fucking
not gonna like jump through it.
I
You're not
love the
gonna
diamond cutter, baby.
DDP has a special
great story,
place in my
man.
heart.
Same here, dude. DDP. I love DDP.
The
Chris, share the story, man.
his program changed my whole life. So for me, it's that's one wrestler that hopefully or person I get to meet someday is DDP. I know he was on what was he on the first one?
First two.
Or he was on I caught it a year too late.
Five,
But yeah, I lost 50 pounds on his program. I never felt better.
Nice.
And he didn't find it at the buffet. The way he lost, he didn't find it at the buffet.
Yeah.
He didn't. Oh, but I remember you told me that story in the line.
Yeah.
We got to know each other real well in those 2.5, 3 hours.
Yep.
And I remember you said, I hope I meet Rich. And he's like, have you met him? I'm like, have I met him? Like, I know him now off the cruise. And
Dude,
every
he's
day
such a
that
cool
cruise,
guy.
I kept telling him, if you see Rich, trust me, he's the nicest, most humble guy you'll ever meet. He
Yeah,
just
he's
loves
cool.
people. He just loves life. He's true, like in the musician sense. Finally, last night, Chris is like shaking a little. I go, what's the matter? He goes, I happened to pass Rich in the hall. I mean, you're going to tell the story.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I said, and he goes, he was speechless, but man, please, now that a few years later, it should probably like come down from orbit on this.
Yeah, it's cool. I have a picture with him. It's not just a selfie, it's like an actual picture. He talked to me for a good 5-10 minutes. And he was the one asking the questions. I didn't even, after the initial hello, and then, he asked, how everything was, like literally was like, just walk with me. I got to go this way. And I'm like, okay. So I just followed him wherever he was going. I went up the elevator with him, and talking in the elevator. He's asking me questions like, where are you from? What do you do? He was more interested in me than I could even be like,
Right.
I couldn't even ask him anything, but he was just so like humble and gracious and awesome.
Right.
I also got a picture with the drummer who was very cool. And has a very thick Southern accent, which is awesome too. But yeah, those guys, class act, man. Absolutely.
They all are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Rich, I've gotten to know now on every cruise. Like it's like he'll call me by name now on the cruise, and I'm not trying to name drop, but like
No,
that's the beautiful thing of the Jericho cruise.
yeah.
Like I met them a month before the cruise, Fozzie, before the first one, and Rich came up to me and the cruise said, "How you been?" Gave me a hug. Last morning of the cruise, we happened to be right in each other. It's like 6 in the morning. You know how last morning of the cruise you're up super early because you got to depart.
Yep.
And Rich was like, "It was my honor to see you here and play," and just like
Yeah,
that's
he
him.
loves it. He says it's his favorite year, favorite week of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, like he absolutely loves it, and you can tell in his performances and everything, and the way he jumps around and how fun he's having, and just he was a lot of fun to be. Like I'm very excited to watch it. That those guys, both
Yeah,
in
they do more now.
Yeah,
You can,
Guardian shows.
the showmen that love what they do, like you can absolutely tell, and I'm sure when you find one with that kind of modesty that doesn't necessarily want to talk about themselves, that's interested in the people that are in the places that they're going to be for a couple of hours and then on to the next one, it just shows the caliber of wanting to connect. Like that's a real person right there that wants to connect with another real person.
I saw them in Tampa, Fozzie.
Yeah.
The pre-show like thing. There's only 3 people there at this one. Usually there's a lot. So we got to really like hang out with them. So I didn't want to bother them. After I was done, I'm walking out and Rich comes and finds me. "Jeremy, did the picture come out okay? Please let me know. We'll redo it. I don't care." And I said, no. It came out perfect. He goes, "On the next cruise, we got to do dinner, you and I."
Nice.
Never did. I wasn't going to like find him and be like, "Remember you told me?"
Yeah.
Where's my steak dinner?
Yeah.
I'll take a sandwich.
Just the simple thought of it alone.
That's awesome.
Enough for me.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "All right, Rich, it sounds cool. It sounds awesome. Like, maybe we can." It's a great story. I said, "There's a restaurant. We can go to the steakhouse." I mean, he goes, "Steakhouse?" Because I'm not giving Chris any money. We'll go to the free places and have a good time. And it's good for them too, because they get to bring their wives. They get to have their downtime too, which is nice.
Right.
Because they hang out with us also.
Yeah.
They go to all the other, like I've seen Fozzie at the other shows too. Just hanging out, relaxing. It's awesome.
We're the ones that allow them to be able to do what they love, and it's nice that those that recognize that and will pass that appreciation along. Because if we're not out there doing this, then they're not going to be able to sell tickets, right?
No, but it's also like now they say at shows and stuff, and it's always there's a connection now with the cruise. Like Brad Williams says that now so many times at a comedy show now. So many people come up to him and say,
"Yeah,
I saw you on the Jericho cruise," and I love that he's such a huge wrestling fan because he's in charge of booking the comedians. But he knows. What's that?
I just watched a comedic bit that he was in with. I can't remember who the other comedian was. Or it was Adam Ray, the dude that does like Dr. Phil live.
Yeah.
He's like a bartender. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about?
I think so, and they have also like appeared together in the Bert Kreischer show.
Oh, well, he's basically Adam Ray's a bartender, and a guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, I'll take a rum and coke," and he gives him an apple, and he's like, "What's this?" He's like, "Try it." So he bites the apple. He's like, "This tastes like coke." And he's like, "Turn it around." So he turns it around, takes a bite. He's like, "That tastes like rum." Then another guy comes, sits down. He's like, "I'll take a gin and tonic." He gives him an apple. He's like, "The hell's this?" The first guy's like, "Just try it." So he takes a bite. He's like, "That tastes like straight tonic." And he's like, "Turn it around." So he turns around, takes a bite. He's like, "It tastes like pretty good gin." And then Brad Williams comes up, takes a seat. And he's like, what are you drinking? He's like, "I don't know, man." And you're like, "Hey, whatever you want." This guy, he can make you a drink whatever an apple tastes like. He's like, "Can you make it taste like pussy?" So he gives him an apple, and Brad takes a bite. He's like, "This tastes like shit." And they all 3 are like, "Turn it around."
But that's why. But it's been awesome. He loves the cruise. He always has his favorite week of the year because he can do comedy bits that he can't do anywhere else.
Right.
Because he can do wrestling related stuff.
Which is
sorry
awesome.
to steal that bit, Brad and Adam, and hopefully you don't get demonetized for that. But it was too funny.
with the bookings of the comedians. He has a Russian lady coming on this cruise.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. She's hilarious. I'm looking forward to seeing her on the ship.
Yeah, I didn't check them out, so like I didn't get, you know what I mean? I didn't want to know about them at all. Like I've met some of the comedians as well. Raj was awesome. You know, Brad's
They
awesome.
really like to hang out, the comedians.
Yeah, they're so cool. And yeah, so that I just want to be surprised and laughing organically when it comes up, because if I'll start, you know, looking at their pages and stuff and getting a feel for how they are. I just want to.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I, you know, like I said, I'm old school, but yeah, I'm excited for them too. That's going to be fun.
Brad, some of the things he says and does, I mean,
he's great.
What the story with Brad was on the first cruise, in fact, he won over everybody. I didn't really know much about him, kind of like Chris. I was like, I guess I was going in surprised. And I'm wearing a Villain Club shirt. Remember the old Marty Scurll, like Villain Club shirts? Remember, it was basically a Bullet Club shirt, but it was from Marty Scurll. It said Villain
Oh,
Club.
okay.
Shirt. And I'm going through the meet and greet lines, and he was there, and he goes, they need to make a Dwarf Club shirt for me. And I'm trying not to laugh. I'm like, you know, that's not very politically correct. And he goes, I know, and I like it like that. I'm like, all right, you're off. You're off. Because he could take a joke. Like, I mean, one of the employees there for NCL was near me at his meet and greet. Like 2 cruises ago. You were on this one, Chris. And he goes to me, oh my God, is it guy from WWE who used to run and hide on the ring? Like, oh God, no! Please don't tell him that. Please don't tell him that. Brad,
he's not Hornswoggle.
Brad hears that part and he goes, "Tell me." I go, Brad, trust me, you don't want to know. And he goes, "No, now you have to tell me." I'm like, he asked me if you were Hornswoggle. He goes, "God damn it!" He goes,
yep.
But he still took a picture with the guy. But that's the fun thing of the cruise. There's always, like, you don't have to feel like you're with your buddies and say, well, we have to do this and we have to do that.
Right.
You can spread out. There's things to do.
Right.
Things. You don't have to do the same things all the time. I tell people that. Man, do stuff that you wouldn't normally get to do or that you want to do.
You see people dressed in character and you're like, oh my God, Nature Boy, what's up? Like, you know.
There's some people who keep the same gimmicks every cruise.
Right.
And they wear
Jesus.
Still on the last one?
What's that?
Was the Ric Flair guy back
on
the last one?
Yeah. I think he's got a different robe for each night of the cruise too. I think
he's in Flair gear, like pretty much. I think we're leaving Miami.
There's another dude that
before we boarded the ship, he's in his Flair robe.
Yeah,
he's committed to that.
Like, there was another dude that was dressed like had like the Seth Rollins gear and get up, like he looked like legit Seth Rollins ring gear that he was wearing.
That dude's gone viral doing that a few times.
Did he?
Yeah. So who knows? Like,
and then
we've talked about this every episode. How many things the cruise has spurned?
Oh yeah,
from chants that you didn't see back at the time, from catchphrases you didn't see. Chris, you were on the cruise where the Ass Boys were named.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was really cool, and watching it on TV after was awesome too. And they even mentioned it on live TV that's where it came from.
Yeah,
nice.
About 4 or 5 examples of something.
Nice.
Last year was Funtime Tony for Santino Marella. There's been about 4. Britt Baker started her heel turn on the Jericho cruise.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think's going to adopt our hashtag puke in peace from this year?
That was me. I started that. I just said that as like, you ever say something, Chris, and it's like you say it casually and you just was just part of to complete a sentence.
Yeah,
that's the beauty.
It never let you forget it, and it became like it stuck. That was it.
That's the beauty of the cruise, is as long as you can remember your room number, you have a place to stagger to and puke in peace.
Yeah. I made that comment about an experience I had, and man.
Yeah.
But fellas, I promise I wouldn't keep you all night. So in closing, we're starting to wind things down here, as Takas Jericho would say. We talked about things. We've already covered everything. I mean, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Matt, I hope you watch this. But that being said, every episode so far, except for one, everyone wanted to just give their Royal Rumble predictions at the end.
Oh.
So I'm going to go, and I think this is the most stacked Rumble ever. I don't think it's just a catchphrase. A lot of variables. We know Joe Hendry's going to be in it now.
Say his name and he appears.
Yeah, Jay likes to sing. He does it really good, but man, you sounded just like him. But they confirmed 6-man in the Facebook group that he's going to meet us on day 3.
Nice, dude.
And
I was so
WrestleCon, so
I was so stoked about that because like seeing that Elijah was going to be on the cruise, I put together a shirt. I had a shirt made to like kind of make fun of a little bit of how when Hendry rips on Elijah and like finding out that Hendry's going to be on there, like, oh my god, perfect.
I'm looking forward to his. I'm looking forward to his concert.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to the beach.
He's the
party.
best. He's like the Weird Al of wrestling.
We've never had a beach party on the Jericho Cruise.
Oh, he's so good.
Now they've told us in a way to temper expectations. They're like, well, it's not a party per se. We're just reserving an area for you guys at the beach.
We're gonna make it a party.
Jericho Cruise doesn't take much.
Yeah,
turn it into one, but I'll at least check it out. But anyway, the Rumble this year, I think it's stacked. We're gonna, God willing, we're gonna be on the ship having a great time. I'm gonna go through both of you guys, man. Who do you think wins the Rumble this year? Jake, we'll start with you.
Oh boy, don't hate me for saying it.
No
I don't know if it's his year to finish his story, but like Mussolini.
Okay.
I'm a big Punk guy, and he's never headlined WrestleMania, but I don't know if that's too on the nose because like he would have been the shoe-in for last year's, so to speak, until he got injured. But
you think they switched it during the match?
No, no. I think it was going to be Cody. It was going to be Cody, but I think he had something lined up that he was going to do otherwise with Seth on the side, but they had to do Drew instead.
There's a favor. There's a favor coming.
I wonder how that's going to play out.
The favor.
I mean, I don't see it any.
The beautiful thing of the Rumble is you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
One of those rare times of the year where you really.
I mean, who else is hot right now? Bronson Reed's great, but like he's more of a menace. And
so many guys above Bronson.
Right. And like
this time will come, but not now.
Right. And he doesn't necessarily need the guarantee to finish the story, quote unquote. He can just be the heel, smash somebody, and like, well, I'm going to keep smashing you.
Yeah.
I would say Braun Breaker, but he's already got a title, and
they're setting up him in Pentagon. It looks like.
What's that?
They're setting up him in Pentagon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do a little face-off last night. I don't know for Mania or not, but
I'm looking at my wrestlers on the wall here.
They're not wrestling at Rumble. I would imagine they're saving that for Mania. But anyways, Jake, you've given 85 things.
I think mine's Punk. It's got to be Punk.
You going with Punk?
Yeah.
All right, Chris, I'm not putting you on the spot. Just who do you think?
No, I like the Punk thing. I think there's a good chance that happens. They don't know how long they're going to have him. However, what I think is going to happen, and I actually listened to the Busted Open podcast with Bubba, and
Bubba, yeah.
He was saying the story's pretty much over the way they ended it. They were kind of like convinced that it's like that whole bloodline thing is done. I don't think so. I actually think it could be The Rock. I think The Rock could win and challenge Cody and beat Cody because they've been all he does. The Rock, all he does when he's on camera is talk about Cody all the time.
That's true.
So it's definitely not over. There's going to be one of those big holy shit moments, and I feel like that might be it.
I feel like so. I mean, he's got so much
run's got to end somehow.
Right. And he's already got that title belt that he could be like, hey, this is the real people's, or title. All right, yeah, I don't know.
I pinned you last year.
Like you said, anything can happen. That's the beauty of it, right there.
They didn't have Rock pin Cody the night before Rock Roman last year to not follow up, and they followed up on Raw after that.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going away for a little while, but when I come back, you and I will.
And he's doing hand signals. I mean, there was like a 3 he let. People still don't know what that is. What did he?
And he is.
Cody?
He is one of
the nice to him.
Promo. We don't know what that was, do we?
So that's not going to last. So yeah, it's possible. I'm going with Cena.
That's right. I forgot about Cena.
When Cena played the undercard role and I haven't won a match in so long, so a title shot's not in my list of possibilities for me. And I said, wait a minute, if you win the Rumble, doesn't matter. And some of the gear, it looks like they've made for Royal Rumble. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Some of the gear, like the hats and the logo, looks very close to the "You Can't See Me" stuff.
The long-term storytelling or the hidden Easter eggs that when they do something and you go back and you look, you're like, oh shit, they were planting seeds along
and
the
Cena
way.
doesn't have to call out Cody per se.
Yeah.
Someone said to me, imagine if he called out Joe Hendry for the TNA belt and got 17 out of that. I said, I'd be surprised. Because Joe Hendry called out Cena.
Yes, he did.
When did he do that?
Crazy.
About last week, I think.
Yes.
Oh shit! I gotta catch up on some YouTube.
Yeah, he's called him out.
It was awesome.
I mean, we were talking about it in another live stream. Could you imagine, like, Joe Hendry does a concert on Raw? The Doctor,
and then when Cena's old music hits, yo, word life.
I mean, it writes
it's basic economics.
It writes itself. So I've got that. I'm playing the nostalgia role. I think Triple H likes nostalgia a little bit. But who knows? He's really good at keeping his cards close. Having Cody and Punk have a segment together last night for the first time in really since they met at the Rumble last year.
So I got Rock and Cena side by side right there.
Hollywood gimmicks. Come on. But I like your collection there. We'll have to talk figures sometime then, Jake.
Yeah, dude.
But so I got Cena. But last thing, man, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Can't wait to see you guys. But your favorite Jericho Cruise memory? We talked about times and the experience, but a moment. It doesn't have to be. I know there's so many. Because for you, it's a little different because the people who've been on 5 say they've kind of all blended, so it's hard. Jake, you got 1. Chris, you've got 2, so it may be a little easier for you, this question. Just a moment where you went, oh, this was awesome.
Well, the Bubba thing was awesome. I'm like, dude, you're like the best tag team there is, and I'm so happy you got your singles push. And it
was super cool to people.
Deck 9 won Deck War Champs, but like there was one. Somebody had like a thing that was like sign your name or do something, and right on there, like some of the messages that people were leaving on there were awesome. And like I remember I was leaving one, and Johnny TV, Johnny Wrestling comes like walking like, huh. He's like, what are you doing? We're like, we're signing this thing because everyone who's on Deck 9 is signing this thing. And he's like, okay. And he grabbed a marker and started signing his name right next to it. And then like after he left, it said John Morrison. So I like drew an arrow to it. I was like, he really signed this.
That's awesome. Chris,
that's cool.
Any moments that really stand out? It doesn't have to be the one and only, just a moment that
I mean I was thinking, during all of that too, and I'm trying to think like what was the thing that keeps coming to mind is 2 things. It was autographs that I got on the fly, just by passing by a couple guys and just saying hello. The one that popped in, like I said, was, I gotta say it again, Hacksaw. He was so awesome. He's such a cool dude. He was like, hey, great to see you, Hacksaw. And he goes, great to be seen, brother. And he's just
Gangrel says that too all the time.
His wife was awesome too. Super nice. Yeah, that was just meeting them so organically, like around the corner. It was just cool.
Yeah.
And for him to have signed that for me, just on the run, that was pretty wild. And then Danhausen too was actually somebody who I bumped into off character. Obviously, I don't know if he felt kind of weird about it, but I hope he didn't, because I thought he was great. And they actually have one of the figures they came out for him. It was like an exclusive. You had to pre-order it. I have it if you want me to grab it. But he did sign it.
I'm pretty sure I have it too. I'm pretty. Is it what I think?
Hopefully it's not dusty.
The ringside collectible. Oh, no, I don't have that.
Oh, nice.
So that's his signature there.
Oh, way cool.
Very cool.
And then you had to pre-order it. You got like some extras, bag of teeth or bag of money and jar of teeth.
You get your choice of a bag of teeth or a bag of money. Choose wisely.
I waited so long for this, and I brought it with me with my carry-on. I wrapped it in bubble wrap, and was in the hopes that I'd either see him or go and wait in line for him to autograph it, because I thought it was a really cool figure. Those are the ones I remember from being a kid. And I thought that was pretty dope. So those two interactions just organically happening.
I didn't even know that story. So very cool.
Yeah.
Not that you have to report. I'm just saying I didn't know that, so I learned.
No, yeah. I mean, it was really, I was coveting this stuff, especially this. I had, Allie actually had it in her purse. The picture, I had bought the picture in the gift shop because I had seen him the day before, and realized, holy cow, he's right down the hallway. I might bump into him again. I'll grab a picture, whatever. If not, Hacksaw's awesome. So she had it in her backpack. She took the elevator, and I was going down the stairs because I didn't want to wait for the elevator. So I actually bumped into him first, and I had to wait for Allie to get off the elevator and walk down. And I was kind of motioning while I was talking to him, hurry up, because I want the picture out of the, so it was funny. It was a good moment. That's just
so cool. So cool.
So I promise I wouldn't keep you guys all night. We probably could if we tried. And it's funny. I was saying to myself,
we're gonna have 5 nights of this coming up. So
up later and later, the last 3 or 4 nights for whatever reason, and I think it's my body telling me,
get ready
yourself for the
cruise. Let's go.
But guys, thank you so much for your time. Anything you want to say on the way out?
No, thank you, man. It's cool to be part of something like this. It's a first for me, so appreciate it, and hopefully it will be first of many.
Yes, please.
I just want to end it on a let me rage with you. Yeah.
We can't end it on a better note than that. Take care, everyone. Jericho Crew's coming.
Peace.